What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Happy Monday. We got a fresh week, June 9th. Before we jump onto the charts, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing you see or hear from me here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like RDF, Top 1 Futures, Bookmap, and others. Let's hop onto the charts. We got a big day here. Market is starting to sell off right into the open. As you guys have seen me start to talk about, we have an announcement coming out from Top 1 Futures today. We got something fresh from them. Excited to bring that to you guys live as soon as we get the announcement. I was hoping that it would be live already. It's not, so we're going to be hanging out. Hopefully they drop it while I'm on the stream with you guys. I can show you it live. You guys will get literal first look. So as soon as we get that, I'll be bringing it live to you guys. I'm grateful to get to know what it is, get my hands on it early, and make some videos about what we got going on. But as always, I like to bring you guys the details, kind of look at this stuff together, and you can make the best decision for yourself, right? But in the meantime, let's look at the markets. We are here on the Project X platform, got 350Ks loaded up. I'm going to see what we could do coming into this this week. We are coming into summer, getting ready to see this summer slowdown. Didn't get too much of it last year, but that summer slump that is often referred to by traders, typically just lower volume, lower volatility, kind of choppy, difficult to deal with price action. But I trade through the summer. I try not to worry about it too much. Take a couple vacations here and there, but outside of that, we're trading as usual. So here's what we got going on. Consolidating up here as we're breaking back towards all-time highs, right? This is a daily chart, but I definitely like to start on the daily for Monday. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, everybody? How are you? How are you? What's happening? So, looking at the daily chart, again, very high time frame for me, who's typically trading on the 1 minute. We are pushing to the upside. We got a really clean trend here, right? You know, if we are trend line guys and girls, which you might be, I don't really peg myself as a trend line person. But just to draw it out for you as far as like looking at the direction here, it's pretty clean to the upside. Maybe we get a little bit wedgy down there. It's pretty clean to the upside. But I'm interested to see, are we finally, I don't know why my chart's bugging out here. Are we finally going to try to break this and run the highs? Like, that was a nice bullish candle to finish out the week last week. Very strong, closing above all candles at this level, breaking above on the high wick all the way up into the 6,000s. But we're struggling here, right? We're trading 6,005 right here on this ES contract. This is ES. I'm looking at the daily right now. I'm interested to see if we try to run this, man. I don't know that we do. As far as what we have on the docket for today, it's a no news Monday, meaning we have no high impact red folder news. We are, just confirming that. We're looking at 10 a.m. Final wholesale inventories. That's a low impact. Later this week, we've got some red folder on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We got CPI, unemployment on Thursday as well, and then prelim consumer sentiment on Friday. But today, kind of a classic no news Monday. I could see this being choppy. I could see this being a little bit difficult to work with. Drop down to the 15-minute. We'll take a look. Selling right back off into VWAP, grabbing some liquidity to the downside. Is this the week where we start to break and run? Do we really just kind of start to chop around here? Are we finally going to come down below this really clean uptrend that I was marking out, right? This really nice set of higher lows that are getting put in. Just talking about basic market structure. I don't know. Right? We're gonna find out together here because I'm gonna be live with you guys 9:30 a.m. Eastern every day. So you'll watch me attempt to trade it. Dropping down to the 1 minute. Just looking at the open, right? A little bit closer to the time frame that we're trading, more recent price action. Overnight session, kind of choppy. We started to pop through London, ran back up towards prior day high, didn't go and grab it, right? This is Friday's high. We put the overnight here in right about that 60, 19 and 3/4 level here for ES, right about 60, 20. Watching us pull back off of VWAP about 8 minutes, 9 minutes into the open here. Yeah, I could see this going a number of ways. I could really see this going a number of ways. The gun to my head, which is a phrase that I say a lot, which I hope I never have to deal with. The gun to my head answer is I think we chop, right? If I had to do a high time frame speculation, call a bias out, I think we chop. I think we kind of pull back and forth, chop around VWAP, maybe come up, sweep highs, sweep lows. But I don't know that we break and run today. I don't know that we have the momentum, the interest to do that. But I'm not going to carry that bias. It is in the back of my mind. I'm going to try not to carry that bias. And if we start to break and run, do something crazy, I'm going to look to trade it. Right now, looking at Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. Yeah, let's look at Bookmap together because we got time. I'm not going to jump into anything in the next couple minutes. Let me go ahead and share this window with you guys. As always, appreciate you guys hopping on. Welcome to the show. Let's see, is that Bookmap? That is Bookmap. So here's what we're looking at on Bookmap. My favorite order flow tool. I got a couple videos getting uploaded on Bookmap on the channel if you want to check those out. But for right now, we're looking at decent amount of liquidity up and above and down below. I could definitely see some interest all the way down here at the 975s. That would be quite a sell-off down from price right now. If we were going to start selling off, that's an area I could look for, or you could look for, potentially if you're looking short towards that. I'm not as a target. I could see the 90s potentially being taken first. That's right below overnight low. I got overnight low sitting at 59.92 and a quarter. So that would be a clean sweep down below, pick up 130 or so buy orders on the book, clean out all this liquidity between price and that point right there, and then potentially look for a buyback to VWAP. That would definitely be a setup for me. Dicey having that bad boy down below, right? I would prefer, if I was going to take a buy off this level, to not have another almost 200 orders on the book down below, potential interest for buyers that would drive price lower. To the upside, that 60-20, same deal, overnight high. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty simple for me, guys. I'm going to take a sell off of a sweep of overnight high or a buy off of a sweep of overnight low. Sue me. That's how simple my trading is going to be today. If we do something different in between now and then, right? If we just chop for forever around VWAP, if we form some crazy clean structure one way or the other, I might be hesitant to do that. But if we wick to the upside or wick to the downside, that's what I'm going to be looking at, right? We come up towards that 60-20. I'm going to look for a short, stop, 10 points back up above here somewhere, where if we break this and continue to run, I think we're probably going to really try to push to the upside, maybe go head towards that 60-50 level. Big round psychological number. There is liquidity up there. But that's the basics of this. We start to sell off. We turn to the downside, kind of continue this movement that we saw off the open. I'd be looking for a buy off the 90s. Pretty simple. Reversion play back towards, the mean, back towards volume weighted average price, area of high volume, temporary volume point of control, looking at the visible range volume profile. Very, very basic trade. A lot of orders coming on the book right there. We got sellers interested at the, wow, a lot stacking up right above price. This is going to be interesting. Do buyers have the momentum to bring that thing higher? Could get a quick movement out of this. This is a lot of activity getting ready to be filled. Does it get filled? We don't know, right? They can get pulled right here before price comes into it. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But that does not look like manipulation or spoofing. That looks like they want to get filled. They're only a couple points above price. So let's hop back onto the candlestick chart. Take a look at what we got going on here together. Again, if you guys hopped on late, we got an announcement. We got some new goods coming out from Top 1 Futures today. Interested to see what that is. I'd be lying if I say I don't know what it is. But I'm interested to bring that. I'm excited to bring that. Sorry, not interested. I say interested for the chart. Excited to bring that to you guys live. To talk about it, to give you some details, right? At least the details that I have on it. And you guys can make a decision if that's something you want to look at. So here we go. Retest of VWAP. Wrote down below. Retest of VWAP. Sellers try to take this thing lower. Like I said, looking for a buy off of this level, off the 90s. Pretty simple. Looking for a sell up here around 60.20 to 60.25. We start to crack to the upside. Very simple. It would be, counter to the initial movement. Like I talk about, there's some risk there. But that's the way that I'm trading ES on these low time frames. Aggressive entry as we're pushing to the upside, looking for a sell, pushing the downside, looking for a buy. Off of levels of structure, areas of interest on my chart, combined with some order flow, right? Combined with Bookmap. But we got a bunch of people on right off the bat, man. Smash like, smash subscribe. I appreciate you guys hopping on here. NQ Justice Choppy. Let's see. When's the merch dropping? Soon. I got a Real Deal Future shirt on. I have to get you guys an option to check some of those out. Stick to your rules. Don't overtrade. Don't go on tilt. Preserving your capital is your primary goal. That is very well said, Wolf. Very well said. It's Monday, right? There's no better time than now as you're getting ready to start your trading week. If you didn't start already, right? A lot of you guys maybe were trading Asia and London. To review your rules, right? Just review. No matter how long you've been doing this, I love to do it myself. What's my risk per trade look like? What's my size look like? What does my entry really look like? Maybe you review last week's price action, your trades from last week. Just kind of get a refresher, right? A little warm up. Heading into the session, getting ready for your trading session, the same way an athlete, right, or a professional would go and warm up a bit, have a practice round before they jump right into the game. You want to do that. You want to get yourself warmed up. Remind yourself so you're not thinking too hard. You're really executing, right? You want to know this stuff like the back of your hand, so you just are waiting and you can really focus on controlling your emotions, chilling out, and trading well. That is the key. T-shirt giveaway soon? Yeah, maybe. I made my own stuff. Not made my own stuff, but ordered it. But yeah, maybe. I like the big blocky letters. I'll show you guys a T-shirt that I got. I'm gonna try to get some hats done. Volume up. Volume's fine. Yeah, volume looks good. I think it might be on your end if you're struggling with volume. I did notice I got to change a setting when I have guests on, where my volume gets really low and their volume gets really high. Some of you guys pointed that out. Thank you. But for right now, this looks like we're good on volume. Crank it on your end. Crank it up. Oh, I got no banners up. We got the link in chat if you want to check out Top 1 Futures. That's who we're trading with right here. Link is pinned if you want to check them out. Code RDF for the best deals as always. As we are patiently awaiting an announcement, a drop of some new goodies out of Top 1. It'll be fun. Hopefully they drop it pretty soon. 9:47. I'll bring it to you guys live. We'll talk about it while we're on here. But I'm gonna be checking some messages as we're hanging out. So again, talking about trading ideas, what we're looking at here. Very simple. It would line up with my bias that I'm attempting not to carry for a choppy day on a no news Monday. This is what I'm looking at, right? We have quite a bit of liquidity. Somebody commented I should mark my chart more as I'm talking. Sometimes I just yap and I don't really mark with arrows. So I'm happy to do that. We got liquidity right at the 20s, right? This would be marking off Bookmap liquidity. That color is kind of similar. And we have it at the 90s, right? So if we start to sell off, we have quite a bit of sell orders right here up above a nice level of structure, right? An area that was tested multiple times, all the way up to the 25s, which is why I wouldn't mind taking it if we did crack really aggressively all the way up here for a pullback down to VWAP. Do I think that we have to run all the way back down to VWAP and it's going to be a huge bearish day and that's why I'm taking that short? No. I think if we come up here, we are likely to see some rejection, some reaction of sellers stepping in, attempting to hold this area of resistance, an order block, whatever the hell you want to call an area of interest on my chart. I think we're likely to sweep overnight high, grab this liquidity, and potentially have a pullback down towards maybe just this area of high volume here, maybe VWAP, right? Same thing to the downside. We sell off really aggressively like we were coming into the open. Wouldn't mind a test of this level, sweep below this area right here, down into this area that's been tested multiple times as support, and maybe a quick pop back up to the upside. What I don't like as much, that's my markup, that's my trade ideas, just framing out some ideas coming into the open. What I don't like as much is the structure that we got, right? Like, what's cleaner than this and why? I would have liked to see a nice sell-off right into that area, right? Without a test of VWAP first, because I want to get that first test of VWAP, right? We start to form really clean structure, like, this is not it yet, but we start to form stuff like this. I don't know that I want to be buying right here now because we got so much selling pressure coming all the way down into that zone. I like a nice impulsive move, a sweep of liquidity for an impulsive move back up. If we got clean structure in one direction, I'm really buying into a downtrend, right? You know, it gets a little bit less likely that we get a nice bounce. And where do I get that information from? Just staring at the charts all day. Basic pattern recognition, right? If this happens, slightly more often than not, this happens. You get that from just staring at the charts, right? That's that's the massively complicated approach that I'm utilizing here, right? I'm joking because it's stupidly simple. But yeah, we are really sitting in this area of consolidation. High end of it, right? Looking like we want to go test the highs. Maybe this is all we need to do, pull back down through VWAP and then push back up to the upside. If you are looking long today, you're looking for a break and run to the upside. This might not be a bad area to get involved, right? We cracked down below VWAP. We are now starting to break back above and hold. You got a way to structure risk down here, maybe all the way down below overnight low. That's not my setup. It's not my trade on this. So back at VWAP, hanging out. Again, no news Monday. Gonna hang. Gonna wait for an entry. So far, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And again, I'm trading pretty aggressively. I would say pretty aggressively on this. I'm not scalping like a complete maniac, but I'm trading pretty aggressively. I frame out trade ideas that price should easily reach certain levels, right? I don't think it would be crazy to say that we're gonna pop, 12 points higher or 12 or 15 points lower and give me an entry. But if we don't do what I'm looking for price to do, and we just chop around, we go back and forth, we get a crazy impulsive move and it kind of invalidates the trade. You just sit and wait. I think there's so many traders, so many more traders, myself included, if I could get better at it, that would be doing much better if they could just be patient when there's no setup, right? Flat is a position. We don't have to trade. It's a massive advantage as a retail trader. We don't have to hedge anything crazy. We don't have to be involved in the market when the conditions are not right for us, right? Because that's going to be different for everybody. But you can stay patient and wait for what you want to see happen and then put that risk on and not put it on beforehand or put it on after. So that's the message for my morning. Hang out, stay patient, wait for my setup to come to me. Wait for the market to come to me. Yep, nothing yet on the new stuff we got rolling from top one. We'll see if we get it while we're on the live. I'd like to. If not, here's what I'm gonna do. I talked about it yesterday. If not, or if you have questions on what is rolling out, because it's a little bit new. I run a 100% free trading Discord. There's no course in there. There's no VIP program. I obviously talk about the companies that I'm partnered with in a only way that I can be, which is biased, right? If someone stands to make money from something, they can't be unbiased. So important for me to note that. But I'm going to hop in my voice chat in my Discord after this live and answer questions, talk about the new stuff that's rolling out from Top One, because I like to try to give my community the best info that I possibly can. So if you want to hop in there, that's the link. It's a Whoop link. You need an email. That's it. There's nothing to pay for, but more than happy to have you in there. Almost 2,000 members. It's crazy. I checked it last night. I think it was like 1960 or something. How many we got in here? No, 1928. 1928. We're getting close. We're not there yet. Almost 2,000 members. Almost 2,000 members. But I'd be more than happy to have you in. We might not get this one while we're on the live. I'm happy to hop in a voice chat and yap with you guys. So if you guys know me, you know I don't mind gapping. Let's see. Yeah, you know, so I'm watching this price action, talking markets here. If we hold VWAP, and start to crack back up towards these 15s, this is going to look decent for a long. Maybe towards overnight high, towards prior day high. It's just not a great risk structure, right? If we hold this here and we continue to push, you could look for a long, you know, with a stop just below session lows, with a movement all the way up. Like, that's not a terrible trade. In my book, it's just not that clean, and not, more importantly, not that clean. Just not a great way to structure risk. Not with overnight low down below here. I'd want to see this run towards the 25 and look short. That's my play. There's definitely, if I had to take a trade, it would be if we continue this. It would be actually nice to see like one more dip down and then bought right back up. Like that structure I might actually get long on. But I'd like to see this continue. And if it does, I think we're likely going to run towards the 20s, the 25s. Is it really clean with a stop loss right here? Not really. Not really, in my humble opinion. Choppy, you know, right at VWAP. We sold off. We came back up to it. I'd be taking the first buy right above. Tight stop below session low. Not that beautiful, but I think that's what we might see. Unless we turn and burn to the downside. We continue to the upside. We crack, let's say, like the 13s, 14s. We start closing above. I think we're headed to overnight high, potentially prior day high. We turn from down here again. I'm watching this overnight low. Again, levels of liquidity up above here, here, and down below here. Looking for a buy, looking for a short. If we wick lower one more time, fail to come down, and then start to head back up past VWAP again, I might look for a long. I might look for a long out of this, because now we're consolidating here. We're showing strength holding above, albeit kind of choppy. If we wicked lower, sellers fail to take it, and then we come all the way back up, I could look for a push to the upside. But this looks like it might want to try it. Yeah, it's just not great. 11.5 points to overnight high, where I'd want to be cautious. Yeah, not great. Not a really aggressive entry, right? I'm in the middle of all this. I like it from the extremes. I'd rather get my face ripped off these days. I'd rather be long down here and price just dumps and, you know, rips my stop loss, than be long here with a stop loss right here. Price comes right here, ticks me out by a point, and then comes up here and chops, and then comes back down here and chops. I really try to avoid trading right from the middle of this temporary volume point of control, right? This area of high volume. Not my favorite, but it doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible. We'll see. See what the market's got for us. As I fix my screen here. What do you guys think, chat? What do we think? NQGPT is telling me to sit on my hands. Gotcha. Where's Ruben, my fellow perma bear? Yeah, we'll probably catch Ruben in here pretty soon. Morning. Let's see. Ultra short scalp on MNQ. Book $200. Think I'm done for the day unless there's another superior setup that presents and changes my mind. Saturn is bright, so we're looking for shorts. Yeah, we were joking about trading the sun's rays, and somebody that was in my Discord that was talking about that, which we all respected until he mouthed off with crazy cursing and hate speech. Let's see. EU session anchored VWAP is acting as resistance for MES now. Okay, we're holding some resistance up here. Wolf's got an anchored VWAP. On long. China meeting today. Everything on hold. Ooh. We got. Yeah, I don't mention it enough, but it's probably the first thing I should say when I hop on. We are in a market that is commonly referred to as a headline market. What does that mean, right? There's headlines dropping nonstop that are drastically impacting volatility and price, right? So Trump talking to China, tariff conversations, geopolitical events, commentary from anybody at all is driving price up and down. Now, to deal with that, I don't know how you can predict it. I don't know how you can predict the reaction, the volatility that's going to occur. All that I know that we can do, what we can actually control, is to structure our risk. We can place a stop loss somewhere in the market at a level that we're comfortable with price-wise, and say at any point anybody can comment something and it can rip right through my stop loss. I'm comfortable with that because it's a good entry point for me. It's giving me a good way to structure risk. It lines up with my approach, my system. So if there's anything that you do, structure your risk, right? I think focusing on being a good risk manager first is very important. Very important. But looking at financial juice, 820, trade talks between U.S. and Chinese delegation have started in London, U.S. source. Talks between the U.S. and China kicked off in London, with the U.S. signaling a willingness to remove restrictions on exports in exchange for assurances that China is easing limits on rare earth shipments. Interesting. I'm not a fundamental trader, but we got conversations going on, so yeah, could be dicey, right? At any point, they could report something out of conversations that's going on, something that's really out of whack, and we could see some really gnarly volatility. But that's part of these markets that we're trading. Part of these markets. So here we are so far, back and forth at VWAP. Sold off a bit. Buyers stepping right back in to take this thing higher. Looking at Bookmap, we got some orders getting moved around here. We got a big stack now up here at the 60.25s. That looks like almost 500 on the book. Came on at 950 only a couple minutes ago. Have anything else up there? Yeah, this is interesting, man. Looks like the little algo liquidity providers, liquidity bands, whatever it is, got cut off at 9:15 a.m. this morning. Interesting to see that on Bookmap. So here we go, back up. Do we break to the upside? I don't think I'm going to trade this from down here, guys. I mean, I could see this, right? I could see this play if you wanted to try it. That's not terrible, right? Enter right here, stop loss down below these lows. You say, hey, we come lower. We're either chopping or we're continuing to the downside. We're showing strength. We're not allowing sellers to bring this thing lower. You know, I want to jump in long and run it towards overnight high, towards prior day high. We're looking, bullish overall in the higher time frame. I want to trade alongside that, just framing an idea. It's just not super clean for me. I think it's just too choppy right here around VWAP. Although this could be the move, right? Could be a wick lower, looking at the 15. Could be a wick lower. Back up to VWAP. We break VWAP. We go and run a nice bullish day, right? We turn this into a nice, clean, bullish candle with a nice long wick to the downside. We break and we run towards the 50s. Don't know that we get that. So I'm not looking for that one. It's just out of the middle of consolidation. So I'm just going to chill. Stay patient. I'm not dying to jump into anything. I try to never be dying to jump into anything, so I don't think that puts you in a good situation. But no trade so far. Not a whole lot. Chopping around VWAP. You could take it directionally from this. I don't think it gives you a great way to structure risk. Not as good as from an extreme. But that's what we're looking at right now. Still have liquidity all the way down to the 90s, right? That stayed on the book. 116 on the book down here. All the way to the downside, the 75s, man. That's a lot down there. That's a little bit sketchy. What's that looking like? Yeah, like this area consolidation here. We start to sell off. We could see that. We could see that. Yeah, I think that's going to be a chart markup for me. Lines up with level of structure, right? An area that was tested multiple times as support, returned to 1,000 times, tested as resistance before a nice big impulsive move. It's lining up with a level of liquidity. I got this marked from like 78 to 70, somewhere down around that area. Could see price return to. I got way too many zones down below here. I don't need all this. To the upside, let's take a look. Yeah, this is that's a pretty thick one. That's a fat zone. because I'm not really sure what this is going to look like to the upside. If we started to break and run, the 650 is a big round psychological number that's had liquidity on it, as we've approached these highs. So I'd probably say that would be like, that would be the area that I'd want this marked. And it's the top end of the zone. So I'm okay with that. To the downside, we really don't find any buyers below overnight low, kind of the top end of this, these highs right here. I think the sell-off could continue to around the 70s, 75s if we were going to really extend to the downside. But I'm not sure that we do any of that, man. We could just have a choppy low volume day. Again, no news Monday. No red folder news. We got through a lot last week. It's kind of a slang term, but what you might see, and you can do this from backtesting, right? Just basic pattern recognition. Look at Mondays where there's no news at all, no financial news, like none. What does that profile typically look like? Is it a beautiful trend day? Is there a lot of volatility? Or is it typically choppy, consolidating, kind of low volume day? I think you'll probably find the latter. So I try not to form too much of a bias with that, but it's just basic pattern recognition to understand kind of where we're at, right? Same way where if we say, hey, NFP Friday, we're probably going to see a lot of volatility when that drops. And maybe right before that, we don't see so much volatility. We kind of see some anticipation of some big red folder news. But yeah, a whole lot of nothing. Here we are, 10:05 a.m., about a half hour, 35 minutes past the open. Chopping at VWAP. Chopping at VWAP. What do you guys think? What do you got, chat? You guys looking long? You looking short? You sitting on your hands? You scalping the hell out of this thing in between? What do you guys got on the radar? Even big money on hold. Yeah, that's what it looks like. 5 minute looks like sideways. Yep, I'd agree. CPI this week. Yes, later this week. Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday. Slow day. Hello, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? No trade, Bob says. Gotcha. Yeah, me either. Heads out of a lot of careless traders are rolling in a headline market. This is where discipline, patience, mindset, psychology pays a lot more than your strategy and risk reward. I'd agree. 100%. I'd agree. That's where the differentiator is, right? If you asked me, and I think this is just what most people see, right? But if you asked me, like, what separates a trader who is consistently pulling money out of the markets from everybody else who's consistently losing, it's not that they have some superior magic strategy, right? You can watch a ton of different guys that make a ton of big money all day, every day for free or for very low prices. It's not that they're smarter. Otherwise, when doctors and lawyers came to the charts, they would make money right off the bat, right? They often don't. It comes down to your thinking. It comes down to your confidence in your strategy and your approach. Definitely comes down to some experience. But I really believe it comes down to the way that you think about trading. Your emotional regulation, your self-awareness, right? Your discipline to follow your approach day in and day out. And like Wolf said there, to sit patient. Sit patiently and let the market come to you. I think a lot of traders get stuck right here, like where I'm at. It's maybe 40 minutes in, they're on the charts. It's Monday. They've been thinking about trading all weekend. They've been back testing. And they're like, all right, man, I got this account. I'm ready to roll. Time to make money. I see people posting about trades like, here it is, ready to roll. And what do? You FOMO in, you enter something, you immediately go, that's not a good trade, but, well, I'm in it now. Let me just run it. And that just spirals. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you don't. Maybe you take the L and then you go on tilt because you took a bad trade and a bad L, and now you're even more upset. FOMO, what does it mean? What is the meaning of FOMO? Fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. That's a dumb young person slang term, Scott, so don't feel bad. FOMO would be fear of missing out. So fear of missing out on whatever market movement might occur, fear of missing out on an opportunity to trade, right? And that fear of just making progress on the day and ending, flat. And I struggled with that for a while, for sure, right? Like, you chasing the market, yeah. You come fear of missed opportunity. Yep, that's an even better way. Fear of missed opportunity. That's an even better way to put it. Good morning, good morning. But yeah, I struggled with it let me see, probably when I would catch FOMO the most, wouldn't always be when the market's running, but it'd be when it's doing what it's doing right now and I don't have a setup and, I'm a hard worker, I'm disciplined in all other areas of my life. You come from this place where you've worked maybe different jobs for a long time and you get paid by doing something and you sit on the chart and you're like, I got to do something. I know I'm not going to make money if I don't do something, right? So let me just do it. Let me just put it on. Let me just put the risk on. I got a personal daily loss limit every day. Let me just make it a win today, and make this money. And what you don't realize is you take a loss, right? And you would have got paid in the long run by not doing anything, right? There was nothing there for you. There was nothing to be missed. So, yes, the market's going to move. It's going to run to the upside or downside today, right? It's probably not going to sit at VWAP all day. So there's opportunity, but not for me specifically. Maybe it is for everybody else on here, but not for me specifically. So it's our job to identify that and to sit patient. And remember that not losing money is very similar. Our P&L doesn't know the difference of not losing money versus making money, right? So what's better, ending a day down $2,000 or flat? Well, on the back end, if you could make that decision, flat every time, right? But when you're sitting here, you're thinking, I got to make progress. And I know everybody's been in the same situation where you take that first dumb trade, and what's the immediate thought process? Let me just take one more and get back to break even. Let me just get back to flat. I shouldn't have taken that one. And if I could just fight my way back, and that's the worst spot to be in. Here we go to try to break to the upside. But yeah, it's just mindset. It's just mindset. It comes from experience, comes from, building that kind of callousing that patience. But it's really mindset. It's the psychology, the way they're thinking about this. You know what the setup looks like, right? It's very simple. For the most part, this stuff is really simple, guys. I don't consider myself to be the smartest person in the room, right? I think you can overcomplicate the heck out of trading if you want to, and maybe that works well for some people. For most that I see, the top traders that do really well in the prop firm space, in live market environments, they trade stuff that's very simple. They just trade it exceptionally well and with exceptionally larger size than most of us. But yeah, being patient, knowing what your setup looks like, reviewing and saying, I'm going to sit and wait for the market to come to me. And if there's nothing there for me, I don't take it. That's a huge play. Huge play. In other words, my life story. Yeah. Fear of getting in. Eric New saying fear of getting in. Okay. Yeah, that's another one. That's another one, right? You could definitely think that way about it. And that could be a struggle, right? Where you're cautious. Maybe you're really risk averse and your setup comes and you're constantly hesitating, constantly waiting. You're thinking about all the ways that you could lose money when you hit the buy or sell button. That's another one, different ends of the spectrum for sure. I like YOLO, no FOMO. Hate to be stuck in sideways trades. Is Trump speaking? Not that I know of. But I don't keep really tabs on fundamentals that heavy. Keep us less than more than 4. Blessings from Puerto Rico. What's going on, Adrian? What's happening? Yeah. Top One's Discord. We got announcements rolling out yet, or no? We are waiting. For those that know, we are waiting for Top One to drop an announcement, something new rolling out for them. It's not out yet. I was hoping to get it on the live session, so I could talk to you guys about it, give you some details. I don't think we're gonna get that, but what I can do for you guys, which is what I said earlier, 100% free trading community. You can hop in my Discord through this link right here, and I will hop in a voice chat as soon as it drops with you guys to bring you through some details. Again, Not to try to sell you on anything, to convince you to do anything. I'm happy to tell you I'm 100% biased, right? If I stand to make money, I cannot be unbiased. But what I try to do as a good partner for anything that I'm affiliated or partnered with is bring you the details on it to the best of my abilities. So you guys can make a good, educated decision. So I'm happy to do that. Hop in the Discord. We'll talk about it. Can you drop the link for Top 1 Futures Discord? I don't have that link. I don't have that link. So I'd go straight to their site, Connor. I see what you're asking. The link for Top 1 Futures Discord. Yeah, I'd head straight to their site. Let me see if I can find it for you. We're hanging out, watching the market do nothing. I don't have a setup. You know, looking maybe short off the highs, 2025, maybe long off the lows. Other than that, this is pretty ugly, guys. Kind of gonna hang out with you. I want to see this drop on here so we can talk about it, but I don't know that we get it. Just got an update that we should be getting something rolling pretty soon, but I still don't see anything. So I think it's going to be after the fact. I think you're going to be hanging out and looking for it. So this should work. Here. I'm going to try to help you out, Connor. That should work. That's straight from their site. If not, it might be something on your end. I'm not sure. Nice. Worked for you. Cool. You see that? Solving problems live on stream. And while you're hanging out, if you guys want to check out Top 1, link is at the top of the chat. Code RDF gets you the best deals as always. Probably want to have that link ready to roll so you could check out the new stuff that drops today. Right? If for no other reason to say, I don't think that's a good fit for me. And I think there'll be plenty of traders that say that, right? Plenty of traders. Here we are back to VWAP, man. What is this? What is this, man? Yeah, Connor, it works for me. That link just opened right back up. So that's working. It must be on your end, brother. I would just hit their support and say, I can't get into the Discord. Help me out. I'd go straight from the main site. Do we start to slowly climb here? Look back at the markets here. Almost a completely flat cumulative volume delta. Just very directionless, chopping around VWAP here. Looks like we might want to drift higher or lower. I really look like I'm going to be sitting patient on this one, guys. Here's what I'm looking at. Framing it out as we're coming towards that initial balance time frame setting. Either something like this. Whoa. I didn't need to give another... bendy arrow there. Something like this. I could see that happening, or something like this. With an entry on a sweep of lows or a sweep of highs, right? I'd want to see what happens as we come up here, but we got 500 on the book at 25. I don't know that I'd be getting short here with a stop loss around this area. I'd probably be waiting for a push up towards this level. I might front run it, meaning I would enter ahead of it, because that's a big stack, and I don't know that we break through that, if buyers would really lift that. It did come on late, which I don't like as much. I like stuff that's been sitting on the book for a long period of time. I just think it's a little bit more likely to stay there. It's a little bit less likely to be spoofing or manipulation. Price is more likely to head towards it. Not for any complicated market narrative, but just for the really dumb guy way of saying I stare at it all day, and that seems to be the pattern that I can recognize. So let's see as we start to crack towards it. I don't know. But that's what I'm looking at. Off the 20s, 25s for a short. Off of the 90s for a long. If we broke to the upside even further, I think I don't know how I'd find a way in long, or if we started selling off and I got stopped out long here. I don't know how I'd find a way in short at that point. If I took an initial loss, I'm just framing out the rest of the day so you guys know what my trades look like, right? Let's say I got short like this. Here was trade number 1. Just framing out some ideas with you guys. That's kind of trade number 1. Trade number 2 would be long down here. Back to VWAP, anticipating this choppy kind of day. We ripped through my stop loss on these. And I could just make these 1-for-1s right now for simplicity. We ripped through these stop losses. At that point, obviously, I'm not finding a way in long, right? We got huge structure that developed to the upside, huge structure that developed to the downside. I'm dead wrong. I'm taking an L. I would look for something like way up here if we really ran for an aggressive short back down towards, some level of structure. If we really, really ran to the upside, I'd potentially try to fade it again up around the 50s. That would be the zone that I'm looking at. And then conversely, all the way down here. Why? An extended levels of structure, price action, volume, and Bookmap showing me that we got 180 on the book at 75. I think that could be interesting if we really aggressively sold off. But before that, that's pretty much what I got framed out. I don't know that we do that. Here we are, almost an hour into the open, chopping around. Not a whole lot of opportunity unless you're a super scalper, you're super zoomed in, and you're cleaning up, grabbing 2 to 3 points at a clip. I think you probably have some good opportunity there, trading a range. Let's see what you guys think. Yeah, news come out yet? No, not yet. Announcement from Top One, not yet. I don't think we're going to get it on this stream. Probably going to be after the fact. Like I said, I will be in my Discord voice chat after this. I'll link it again. I usually don't drop this link so many times, but for those of you guys that want to hang out later, this way you don't miss it, right? Because what will happen is I'll probably end the stream, go get a drink of water, and then come back, and it'll be like blowing up. But I'll be in my voice chat, be hanging out, looking at the stuff with you guys, sharing my screen, talking about it. So if you're not in the free Discord, feel free to hop in. I got time blocked, into the middle of the day to hang out with you guys. Show the top one news, bro. Yeah, hop in the Discord. You will probably get it afterwards. It's not out yet. Not out yet. Since we're just chilling, Isaac, do you also at any point look at options data for analysis, which strikes have I don't, Wolf. I think it's a really advantageous thing to do. I've just never explored it. I don't mind to tell you when there's just not my forte at all, and that's options. Never touched them. I couldn't tell you anything about it. But I did work with traders that are heavy onto options data. There was a man, I forget the name, but there's a really, really nice suite of tools if you trade with options data that give you levels, that give you a lot of different stuff. I'll find the name, Wolf, and I'll throw it in Discord. Brian, who was on here, is a trader that I'm thinking of, used a lot of options data, and it was crazy to see how accurate some of that stuff was coming over to the futures market. But yeah, just like anything else, I think you got to kind of pick and choose how much data you can really handle. And at no point yet have I thought, I want to just add this in. But I think a lot of great traders do utilize that information. I think NQ might find resistance. Okay, 70s. You guys are looking for resistance on... you guys are looking at resistance on NQ at a certain point. If Trump gets the deal... if Trump gets the deal, I would not think about short. Gotcha. Yeah. Maybe if we start to rip to the upside, yeah, I'd be cautious taking short. Tried that on the first account. We were looking at that. YM to the downside, NQ is to the upside. Their kid ES is stranded in between. It's best to sit in your hands. Yeah, there we go. More, I don't use that correlation versus not correlated, but I think traders that do, like Wolf is describing right now, if you're watching stuff where we got NQ drifting higher, ES drifting lower, YM in the middle, or vice versa on whatever that is, you might want to be cautious, right? We just have stuff that's out of alignment. We had traders on last week. I have more traders coming on later this week. Randy on Thursday, Thomas on Friday. That'll be fun. Get some more perspectives. But we had traders on last week that did use that. They used the Mag 7. They're looking to see and trade a NASDAQ, right? They're looking under the hood. They want to see alignment, a strength out of all the major players. And, they are going to use that in their trading. Greetings for Colombia. What's up? Why do you guys do Discord? YouTube far better. Discord sucks. Yeah, there's just a lot that goes into streaming on, just more for me that goes into streaming on Discord. So it's just easy for me in Discord to say, yo, everybody hop in the voice chat, and we'll hop in. There's some advantages to Discord too. Lower latency. You're going to know what's happening quicker. What are the prop firms you use, if you don't mind me asking? So I've traded with a couple different things. Heavily focused on top one futures here right now. I still have my Top Step accounts, still max funded with them, taking payouts, and have accounts on backup. Not really trading them too hard. It gets difficult if you can't copy trade everything together, which hopefully we have a solution coming up pretty soon from TradeSyncer on that, since Project X has opened up API. But outside of prop firms, I came from trading live accounts in the Forex market, in trading live accounts in stonks, which still got some larger size accounts there. But I'm looking to start testing some live stuff. Live is a bad word for it because we confuse that with like live with prop firms. But I'm looking to test some personal cash accounts with different brokerages and platforms. My main hesitation is that I can't trade Project X yet with a personal cash account. So I have to find a platform that I want to use. Might come back up later in the day. Good opportunity. On days like this where there's not much movement. Oh, I did it. Options info. Yeah. It's BS in trendy markets, but in slow moving markets with no clear direction. Option. Yeah. Sure. I feel that. I was waiting for you to say that about the copy trader. Yeah. Not yet. So I think that some of the other copy traders out there that have rolled out cloud-based copy traders are getting access to it, but it looks like we're going to get, actually had a conversation with them this morning. They don't know for exactly sure. They're hoping this month to have TradeSyncer integrated with Project X, meaning that we would be able to copy trade from like a lead account, like right here, to a bunch of other firms, brokerages, whatever you want to do. Haven't been able to do that yet at all. We can copy trade, which I'm doing right here within the platform, but you can't copy trade across, right? There's nothing that synced up with that. I'm hoping live brokerage picks up on Project X. Yeah, I think based on what I've seen, here's my speculation. I think Top Step is going to do that. I think Top Step is going to have they're going to become a broker to have cash deposits. Or maybe it comes from your own sim profit or so. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think they're going to have something. But outside of them, I'm assuming that brokers are going to be able to operate with Project X pretty soon. I'd assume so. Because, yeah, I love Project X, right? Like, I like a TradingView chart. Like, let's call it what it is while we're just hanging out yapping. I love TradingView. I love a TradingView chart. Trading on TradingView when you are linking, like, for example, like Tradeovate to TradingView sucks. There's a whole bunch of choppiness, it lags. I don't think it's intuitive at all. So that's why I like Project X. Seems fast, works smoothly for me. Fills are fine for me for the most part. I hear a lot of people complain about fills, but it's, up to the individual. All right, that's personal preference. Anyone want to balance my checkbook? Interesting. Would be cool to be able to move profits right into a live account. Yeah, I think that's what live meaning personal. I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're what's going to do. TradingView is not it. Yeah. Again, like there's diehards for everything. And I think it's like what you were raised on, right? I don't do well on different platforms, probably because I stare at a TradingView chart, right? And if you change the cockpit of your race car, you're just not going to do as well. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But I'm being forced right now to figure out what I want to do. But it's been a major hesitation for me because I just don't want to work on another platform. It's just difficult. It's hard to do. And then you could say, well, I'm going to stare at one chart and execute on another. And I'm like, that's like not intuitive at all. I got to be opening something up on the side. Like, it's tough. Here we go. Popping the 15s, attempting to continue to push this to the upside. Yeah, guys, this is just not a lot. This is not a lot for me here. No news Monday. Consolidation at VWAP after a sell-off into the open, and now a push to the upside. Do I want to short this up here? Like I talked about earlier, how we get to a level does play a role. I'm still looking for it, but this is not ideal structure to get there, right? Like I'd like an impulsive move. After we get through the first 5-10 minutes of the session where we go and kind of sweep a level, this is like now structure coming up into it. We could just kind of slowly drift until something volatile happens with whatever Trump is meeting or whatever, conversations going on with China. and we just rip in one direction. So this is just not great. Not to talk negatively on it, but just not great for me, right? And that's cool to recognize. So sitting on my hands for now, hanging out. As always, appreciate you guys being here. Smash like, smash subscribe. I'm here 9:30 a.m. Eastern, almost every damn day. I will be here every day this week, 9:30, trading live with you guys. Like I said a couple times, hop in the free Discord. We're going to be live later today because we didn't get the announcement while we were on the live here. Hop in the free Discord. Link is in the chat. Go through the Whoop link. It's also at realdealfutures.com. It's on all my socials. You can hop in the Discord. I'll be talking about it. Don't want to leave anybody that's on YouTube only hanging, but I'm not going to sit on YouTube live all damn day. Yeah, outside of that, got some cool stuff dropping from new stuff dropping from Top One. I think most of you guys will be interested to hear what that is. So here we go, kind of selling off back to VWAP. Guys, I think I'm going to call this one. Hour in, I don't see anything setting up. You got my framed trade ideas. We're looking for a short somewhere up here, right? I don't know if it's going to be off the 20s. I don't know if it's going to be off the 25s. I'm going to watch what happens up here. I could see a potential short. But the more that this happens, the less I like this. Potential long off this overnight low, on a sweep of this overnight low level. That's pretty much what I'm looking at. That's pretty much what I'm looking at. So in any event, guys, I'm going to take a break before we get this announcement and then maybe go hop in voice chat with you guys. Not maybe. Hop in voice chat with you guys in Discord. I'll see you guys soon. Talk to you very soon. Thanks for being here. Top Step's been hacked. Yeah, we don't know. Do we know that it was Top Step? Yeah, if you guys don't know, that's a good piece of information. There was a data leak from someone. Somebody, a bunch of credit cards from some prop firm, customer information. I wasn't affected personally, but I did freeze my stuff. I don't know who it was from. I think it was pretty disappointing that we didn't hear who it came from or if they even know. But yeah, I don't know that it was. I don't know that it was any specific firm so far. Everybody said it wasn't me, so we'll find out. In any event, guys, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Nothing you see or hear from me is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. As I'm watching this, we're getting some volatility coming in, so let's see what happens here. But I'm going to give you the disclaimer. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Top One Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Yeah, we might get some volatility to the upside. Interesting. 25s is off the book up here. And now we got the 6,000s down on the book down here. Interesting. In any event, guys, I'm not going to jump right into anything, I don't think, right here. So I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys being on. Smash like, smash subscribe. No trade day. Just not a lot of opportunity for me. See you guys in Discord later today. I'll be tagging everybody, letting you know when I'm hopping in voice chat. But hop in there. Links in the chat. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for jumping on.